It was very enlightening to hear from you, sir, especially about the flexibility that now students have in terms of transferring from one college to another, credit system, etc. People having liberty at a school level, to study in a language they want in their states, etc. And it appears to be very positive, but I'm little worried for the fact that uh, how many people are really beneficiary of this education policy. Number one. Number two, is it affecting, or is it certainly encompassing those students, who board on buffaloes and go to village pond and take education there with their slate and copy? There are millions still, who are not able to understand what computer is. They are not able to put on the computers. They certainly know now mobile phone operations, and perhaps COVID has given lots of opportunity to learn through mobile, motion picture and all, even without any formal education. If one wishes, one can become a club, and Dronacharya can be sitting somewhere and he may not know that how many club he has created. But now the reality is totally different, sir. For the fact, that we are talking about PhD and education system, IS lobby, not allowing people to come forward, political will, etc. There is another problem that we are talking about, selflessness. At one point of time, we are talking about, teachers are always selfless, they are dedicated, they are, and I believe you have been very fortunate. Many of us are fortunate, including Kavita Madam is also a good dedicated teacher. And you are also a part of the system where you had a very good, dedicated teachers. I also have the same defense people, they have enjoyed Ustad and Gurus, they have very, very good paramilitaries training them, and giving ragra in the parade ground. But what about those students? What about these states, who recruit people at 5,000 rupees per month, at a basic primary school level teaching just before elections, and recruit them in a mass level, and then don't give them salaries for a longer period of time, and people expect them to do miracles. And these system, if you look at how this education policy is going to create that brand of teachers who are selfless, who are dedicated, who talk about the frame that you have discussed about education, those variety of terms that you said, universal, united, and whatnot, and all these things, appeared to be little too utopian, sir.
I understand what you're saying. I'll tell you my story.
Right.
Madam was a principal of Hindu College, and let me tell you, I did not get a job in Hindu College, or I did not even study in Hindu College. I had to leave Delhi University because I also graduated from Delhi University, did my PhD as well from physics department. The university did not give me a job. 5 years of ad hoc is there, and I did not get a job. Hats off to people who recruit. And you go and ask people whether I was a good teacher or a bad teacher. Why did that not happen? It is not about people sitting on the back of the buffaloes. It is even at when you are riding a scooter or a car, the system is the same. So it is individual vigor or motivation or the zeal that you have to have, supported by parents. Now, if your parent is a buffalo man, there is a bad luck initially. Then he has to struggle again. So I did not get a job in Delhi University is a submission that I have. And when I joined a private university called Sikkim Manipal, I was there for 12 long years. In 12 years, I got all the opportunity to be everything. I was a person from physics. I did my MTech as well there. I became a principal of an engineering college without being an engineer. Possible. So here is a possibility. So once you become a principal of an engineering college and you work so hard that you motivated every faculty to do the best, all the students were involved. The West Bengal College where I was, the Central West Bengal University, they recognized us, what is happening in this college that they are so good. So we became so good. I got a chance to become a vice chancellor early at 46 age. So one gets an opportunity if he works. This is Gita. गीता का ज्ञान यही है. हम भैंस के ऊपर बैठ के ज्ञान नहीं ले सकते. ज्ञान चाहिए तो स्कूल में जाना होगा, कोई नहीं घुसाए तो तोड़ना पड़ेगा. आई बिलीव दैट दरवाजा तोड़ के भी पढ़ना चाहिए, किताब फाड़ के भी पढ़ना चाहिए, पढ़ना चाहिए और किसी को पढ़ाना चाहिए. यदि किसी को पढ़ने की दिक्कत है, यूनिवर्सिटी आजकल ओपन है, इसीलिए यूनिवर्सिटी को एक ऐसा अम्ब्रेला बनाया जा रहा है जहां कोई भी आ सकता है. कोलैबोरेटिव मोड में भी पढ़ाई हो सकता है. हमें यूनिवर्सिटी को किसी विलेज को अडॉप्ट करना पड़ेगा, किसी स्कूल को अडॉप्ट करना पड़ेगा, किसी गांव को अडॉप्ट करना पड़ेगा, जहां के बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए जो जो चीज जरूरत है वो करना पड़ेगा. और ये यदि 5 साल 10 साल हुआ, एजुकेशन पॉलिसी सक्सेसफुल हो सकता है. 2040 के बाद हमें ये सवाल नहीं आएगा. दिस इज व्हाट आई फील. दूध हम पिएंगे लेकिन भैंस पे को चरा के नहीं. जिसको वो करना है वो करे बाय चॉइस.
Ravi, I will discuss about this point when I speak.
We have to produce the research capable students. Otherwise, what will happen? Either Google में देखा, उधर Google में देखा, और एक research paper to avoid the IP rights and plagiarism and all that, and then कुछ एक paper निकाल. It's not the way. You have to think out of the box, innovate, come to the field and design something new. Think ahead. Where the normal thinking finishes, you have to produce leaders. What is a leader? Where normal people's thinking stops, that's where the leader's thinking start. And then he takes us forward and he sacrifices for others. So my point is that only that nation building also through nationalism. Nationalism is what? Character building, ethos building, value building, and nation is paramount. And there's nothing about the nation. That feeling has to come in each one of us, even the younger generation and the generation which is going to lead the country. Thank you very much. I'm finished.
Great. Thank you. आपने जो अभी बातें बताई, it was very good. I like the idea of this practical approach. I believe they are talking about some practical part also in the education system, which is very important. Earlier it was more to do with theory. They are giving due importance to, new education system now. But Pravinji, there is one aspect, that I would like to hear also from Alokji, and then we will open the floor for discussion for some time. And that aspect that we are talking about is, national character. I thank our Chris Menon and G, and as well as, Nehruji and some good, policy makers who created a concept of developing Sainik schools, And similarly, there are some good schools like Netherhat and private schools also like Doon as well as Birla School, or, at variety of other centers, including Wilhelms, elite school we call them. And at the end of the day, now currently all these schools, including Sainik schools, come under elite schools because they have good resources.
Yeah, Ravi, एक point और कहना था मुझे. I have commanded 2 NCC organizations also. I was group commander,
right,
in Maharashtra, and twice we won the Prime Minister's banner and the most enterprising unit also.
Right.
Why? Because we were always on the field and leading the guys and training them, whatever best we could give, and they were way ahead. Entire team of mine, I had 16 colonels with me, and we could lead the team also, and we produced results. So that's what I'm trying to say, that it's simple also and is as difficult also.
Right.
That's all.
So that means when you are on the ground, practically, I have also witnessed, perhaps we all could have witnessed, that if you are surrounded by good teachers, you are being shaped every minute, every second. I recall, I was preschool time before Sainik School Tilaiya. I was studying in a Gurukul kind of a school. Our Guruji was only interested in getting the best out of you. And unfortunate part was that he used to, beat with the cane that he had. बहुत पेनफुल होता था वो समय. But but the spirit with which he was teaching us, we were never kind of had a very negative image about him, because every minute we used to interact, we used to gain something. Similarly, when we went to school, we had some good teachers, dedicated ones, which are, I believe, we are very fortunate, who have shaped us, every minute, including way of talking, including your PT, your English, Hindi, Sanskrit, ethos, culture, discipline, झूठ नहीं बोलना, respect करना, officer-like qualities, all these things have been shaped. So we call it good sanskar, given. But, when we are talking about developing national characters, such kind of concepts, play a major role. In one, Facebook as well as WhatsApp discussion, the question came, can't we also make, our education system include compulsory military education for all the youth after they finish their school? So maybe something positive can come out of it. Of course, somebody can, question it, because there are people who fight for, liberty of freedom of, thought, action. There are champions who start fighting about it, and they say that ये तो आपका human right violation हो जाएगा और आपका.
आपके विचारक मंच में मैंने देखी थी ये बातें, सुनी भी थी.
Right.
But
So all these things
there are middle ways, Ravi ji. I will discuss that.
आलोक जी, मैं आ रहा हूँ आपके पास. So, in that kind of a situation, perhaps I believe, that could be one of the fastest way of at least, avoiding the crisis to which we are heading, because of, the gap that has been created in our education system for last 20 years or 30 years, the deterioration of quality, deterioration of ethics, values, etc. Opportunism has increased, Right.
We should never forget the prevailing geopolitical situation.
Yes, including geopolitical situation
around India,
right,
where China is doing, where what Pakistan is doing. We have to have trained manpower,
right,
at a short notice, which can go and fight.
Certainly.
Enemies.
So keeping that point also into consideration, that we are surrounded by enemies, and we certainly, India needs a big human resources to even fight external forces. So why not discipline ourselves and make things more better by giving such kind of training, not rigorous military training, but at least civil defense kind of training, at least a regimentation kind of training, at least certain discipline, so that we can,
डॉक्टर साहब का एक पॉइंट मुझे याद आ गया
जी,
कि इंडिया में एक ही खुदा है, बाकी लोग आते हैं जाते हैं. जो IS लॉबी है वो हर जगह हर चीज कंट्रोल कर रही है, वो होने नहीं देती.
If we provide primary meals and primary health facilities in the school, the poorest of the poor people would love to send their children, and it will be an automatic process. Rightly said, Ravi ji. And we need not make an effort to go and ensure. Of course, some effort will be required, but we have to make the village school attractive enough for the poorest strata of our society, attractive enough so that they are, they are compelling their children to go and spend there the day. That is the only answer which I get.
Right.
And if these are secondary thing is that these values, culture, mannerism, of course, the moment the parent sees the change in the behavior pattern, of the student, it will further attract, but basic attraction has to come from the food and the health.
Great. Thank you, Alokji. Let's come back to Madam. My question to you is, ma'am, if you would like to answer, is the way there are very much negativism at the school level, especially in the village areas, in a large scale, and you have been dealing with a very good college as well as elite Indian, college, as well as society, India International Center, plus now the grouping SARC, Asian University, there I can understand that the standard of education has been quite good. But if you, as a scholar who has studied in Canada, and you have also seen the outer world, how deeply they do the research and how much critically they examine things, and the kind of shaping that takes place when you are while you are doing your PhD. So I still believe that there is still needs a big boost in that area. So there are lots of research scholars, teachers, professors who don't understand the quality. So how to instill those thoughts, right?
Yeah. Dekhiye, at the bottom line is the human being. And that is why I said that one of our Upanishads says that it's a relationship between the teacher and the taught, the rest is frivolity. But the basic premise is integrity. And I'm not just talking of financial integrity. I'm talking of your mental integrity of the mind. Now, you can have the worst system. A policy cannot deliver without people, right? So you can make the best policies and they can all fail, or they can all be put in cold storage because there is nobody willing to deliver it. So the worst system can be very good outcomes with good people. And the best system can have negative and does have negative outcomes with not so good people. So it is the human integrity. Now, if you were to ask me, what are the 3 factors since I built the university? Well, I would first want good teachers. Because if I had good teachers, and not just subject-wise good, values-wise good, if I had those, then the resources will also come and buildings will also come. But I can make the best buildings and put in the best Wi-Fi system and ICT system, and I don't have teachers with integrity, with a desire to impart and disseminate, nothing will happen. It will just be a showcase. So the other thing is, what Radhakrishnan said. He said, I'm afraid of the devil, but I'm very scared of the educated devil. Now, those of us, unfortunately, who become educated and become a part of the system, learn better than anybody else on how to work the system to our advantage. Which is why, we do not improve anything. We just use the system so that I can benefit, the individual can benefit. The third thing is, what I was saying, it's a colonial system that persists. Now you have the affiliating system, and you've been talking about it since 1858, if I'm not wrong. It is affiliating system. One is creating a huge mess. Now, I know of universities where they have 2,000 colleges affiliated to them. Does the Vice Chancellor even know where those colleges are? I have been associated, yes, with the elite institutions, but I have also traveled. I've been part of a lot of committees. The kind of fraud that happens in the name of education. That's also because we think one size fits everybody. अब आप कहीं बैठे हुए हैं एक रूरल कॉलेज में, तो आप शेली या कीट्स पे रिसर्च क्यों कर रहे हैं? So this centralized business that you must attend so many refresher courses, so many orientation courses, you must have a PhD. Well, our PhDs are not worth the paper they are written on. And because our promotions of the teacher and the taught all depend on how many you have guided, what is the impact factor. You know how impact factors are manipulated. 10 people get together and say, "Tum mera quote karna, main tumhara quote karunga." And so impact factors. So really there are no role models. And ये education जो चीज होती है ना, this is like a कड़ी. इसमें एक भी weak link होता है, तो it breaks down. Now, who are the governors? Who are the people? You know, we have a crisis of governance. Now, UGC was not supposed to be catering to 1,000 universities, right? तो वो अपना काम नहीं कर सकते, उनके हाथ में कुछ है भी नहीं. It's a paper tiger. All they can do is to stop your grant. Well, that's not the way to function, right? If you are supposed to be in charge of maintenance of standards of higher education, you can't just do it by a danda of saying कि अब मैं तुमको, and that grant 95% is spent on salaries. How can you stop the grant? So we have built up a culture of mediocrity. We have not built up a culture where we talk of American universities. The teacher frames his own syllabi. He does his own evaluation. He does his own research. I did LLM in Canada, and I did on ownership and control of foreign investment, quite different from my literature. And then I couldn't agree with my supervisor, and we used to discuss it all the time, my dissertation. He and I did not agree. I came from a developing economy. He, his point of view was from a developed economy. He didn't hold it against me. He said, as long as you can give me a convincing argument, I'm right. I'm fine. Again, when I wrote, we had a choice whether to do an exam or whether to write a publishable paper. I chose to write a publishable paper and researched it for 10 years. All the Supreme Court judgments of US and Canada of 10 years, I researched and put it there. He said, very well researched, but I don't know what you think. So he gave me a C. And I said, how can this be? I worked so hard. He said, yes, I could have found this on the net. I want to know what you think. Now, when I had done my LLB here, every time you discuss, they say, but the Supreme Court said this, and the discussion ends. So if the Supreme Court has said this, so what? What is the analysis? So we do not, as our system, we don't teach people to think, and we don't teach people, we don't take it in the right spirit. यहाँ पे if you disagree with your supervisor, आपको PhD नहीं मिलने वाली है.
Ma'am, I would like to add one point here. Yes. As you said, you see in the United States or some other countries, they have this system of lot of independence for the teachers, for the faculty members to shape their own course structure and taking exams. But we cannot suddenly take this system and implement in our education system in the present existing scenario. It is very good. It is very good for some of the universities, some of the teachers who are very matured, well educated, they know how to handle things. But if you take it there are more than 900 universities, man.
I know that. I just said 1,000.
There are 40,000 plus colleges and only one UGC.
मैं आपसे ये पूछ रही हूँ कि हम कब तक इंतजार करेंगे?
Yes, ma'am.
So what I'm asking you is, एक तो आप affiliating system खत्म करिए ना?
जी.
Right? Your 40,000 colleges, they are not worth the paper, many of them.
Yes.
Right? So many of them can be turned into vocational colleges. Why are you keeping them as academic colleges?
Yes.
Turn them into vocational colleges. Create clusters. Now, if you want me to spell out the system, I can. I mean, I've spent my life on it. Now, 48 years I've spent on this system only.
Correct. So, ma'am,
I know
what you are saying will emerge after a few years once we correct our education system, and it takes a few years time to evolve, and then
that's right. You can make a beginning with your unitary universities.
Yes. And here, Raviji, I forgot to mention one very important point in this national education policy, and that is very critical. And they are talking of artificial intelligence oriented software to be developed to calculate and identify these individual traits and qualities of students at the school level. so that over a period of time, what happens when he goes up in the colleges, this student is aware where does his strength lie.
You know what?
आज क्या होता है, ma'am, you must be knowing that there are, moneyed class people, they are taking help of education experts, psychologists. They take their children after +2 or maybe after 10, and they do a battery of tests, and that educationist or psychologist tell the parents, your child has these qualities, his motor mechanics are not good, or his mathematical qualities are not good, he would excel in social sciences, or he will excel in this particular stream, and then they change their stream after taking those advices. This
but not all the time.
Yes, ma'am, but
Oh.
this new education policy is talking of the same thing, but there is a problem here. We will have to implement it very carefully, because these tools, if we give it to the village level common teachers, you never know what he's going to feel.
No,
And
I'm
what
sorry. I also find that this is very invasive,
Yeah.
and this is a very double-edged thing. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, ma'am. No, ma'am.
You have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Even your tests that are done, I'm more than aware of those tests.
Yes.
But still, they are also iffy.
Yes.
You cannot just take them as gospel truth. So really, that's why I keep saying, empower the teacher. Aaj ka teacher ka koi power nahi hai. And his mind has been made in a way now he doesn't want the power. He doesn't want to take the responsibility. Look at our B.Ed courses. You were talking of school education. मैं बहुत चुपचाप बैठी थी. Look at our B.Ed. Are you sure you're training your teacher?
Ma'am.
हम क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
Yeah, ma'am, you're right. And I gave this suggestion to Ravi ji. Ravi ji, if you remember, I was talking that this district level committee, which will be forming, of a handful number of people, under this policy. And these people will have to monitor these teachers' activities, their effectiveness over a period of time, several years. Constant monitoring is required. Then only this new education policy can achieve some percentage of success at that level.
ऐसे मॉनिटरिंग नहीं होती है, बिकॉज आप उस टीचर को पनिश करते हैं. कैसे करते हैं? उसकी पोस्टिंग कर दो ऐसी जगह जहां उसको बहुत, I don't want to go, as I told you, I've spent 48 years here in this profession, and I understand how I have been an activist. I led a huge delegation to be in session. Why do you use your teachers for census? Why do you use your teachers for election duty? Ration card बनवाना होता है तो teacher जाता है.
Yes, for everything. Yeah.
For everything, it's the teacher, and you want the teacher to form your syllabus. There is no way that person will do it. The way that teacher is humiliated by the bureaucrat.
Yes.
वो उसके हाथ जोड़ता रहता है. Sir, मेरा इतना तो कर दीजिए. Right? You know how promotions take place. Right? You know how equipment is sent. So if we start now going into it, a policy may be very good, but that policy for its implementation, education is something जहाँ पूरी कड़ी, अगर आपका जो governance है वो corrupt है, intellectually, financially, divided in silos by caste, creed, religion, region, that person's decision making is faulty, and everybody working under that person will have faulty, actions. Also, we are all human beings, as Radhakrishnan said. He said कि ये teacher ऐसा नहीं है कि उसको कूट के foundation stone में डाल दो. The teacher also has to run his family, get his children educated. ऐसे थोड़ी है कि उसी की सारी idealism आप एक teacher और doctor पे डाल देते हैं. इसीलिए they are getting the most corrupt. They are becoming the most corrupt. वो स्कूल में नहीं पढ़ाएगा, कहेगा मेरी ट्यूशन में आ जाना. Right. So it is
एक क्वेश्चन है इसी बात पे. तो in spite of all this that we have, for example, कुछ teacher, including you or Raman sir, and there are many, whom whom I see personally. There are good numbers, who are self-motivated ones. right? So in spite of all this, which is prevalent in India, they have been changing the world, as an activist, as a social worker, as a social entrepreneur, as a teacher, professor, mentor, friend, whatever. Many times you spend money from your own pocket for a student,
Oh, lots of time.
right?
Not
So,
just-
so that kind of, teacher certainly gets rewarded in a form, and that is respect that you get,
no, that's the only thing. I mean, if one starts detailing, at least for myself, the struggles, the kind of politics that is played with you.
Right.
I used to thank God that I'm privileged, that I don't need a job. I used to joke with my husband कि रोटी कपड़ा मकान तो तुमने मेरा settle कर दिया है. So
Right.
I'm going to fight the system, right? But
Right.
I know if I was a man trying to run a family, I would have said ठीक है यार, मेरे को क्या है, मैं आके जो तुम कहोगे मैं कर देती हूँ, खत्म हुई
Right.
बात.
Right.
There are human compulsions too. So how many people for their whole lives can remain self-motivated? Now, people with privileges also don't remain self-motivated. That's another issue. However, अब आप साउथ एशियन यूनिवर्सिटी की बात कर रहे हैं, that university, आप पाकिस्तान के संग यूनिवर्सिटी बनाने बैठे हैं, 3 साल से गवर्निंग बॉडी नहीं कर रहे हैं, क्यों? क्योंकि पाकिस्तान के संग हम नहीं बैठेंगे. अरे तो यूनिवर्सिटी क्यों बनाई थी उनके संग? How do you expect that university to run? So don't put your foreign policy agendas on a university, or don't make that university. Your Nalanda University has never taken off.
It kept
Has
on
never
operating
taken
from RK Puram,
You see,
It
but
will not take off.
yeah, my submission is, Ravi ji, that we have in this rut, what we are into, we have to make a change that everybody accepts that.
Right.
We have
So
to make a
it-
change.
But you have to
Alok ji.
start in small pockets, and you
Right.
have to start now. You have
Yes.
to identify
Alok ji,
them, whatever the
let's hear from
resistance
Raman sir,
Yeah,
who is
Raman.
also a self-motivated teacher, and he felt low when his position was not made permanent and he was not given the job that he wanted, but he has not stopped himself from being a good teacher. So I mean, what motivates you, Raman sir, in
Dr. Raman sir, one second. I went through the same career as you said, after completion of my PG from JNU, I was an ad hoc lecturer at Jamshedpur Cooperative College and Jamshedpur Women's College PG department for 4 years, and that post remained ad hoc for 4 years. Finally, I had to leave, and government of Bihar did not induct a permanent lecturer post in all over Bihar for 14 years, and I became a sufferer. Finally, I had to leave education side, and I joined Indian Air Force. And I learned history throughout my life, and I have been doing fighter controlling throughout my career. It has got no connection. I was Kargil main controller at Srinagar Airport. Handling supersonics, mix of supersonics in a limited airspace. It is, how challenging it is. It has nothing to do with what I have learned throughout my life during my education. So what you're saying is correct.
Sorry, it does have something to do. It has trained your mind.
Right, it has.
So
It
don't
has.
say
It
that.
has. It has trained
You want to know
neurons,
the
yeah.
truth? I had to suffer. I fought Hindu college for 10 years in the court.
Right. Yes.
And
No,
I won the case.
Here any academics most of the time, has to go through certain pain
Yes.
either at the PhD level when your
Yes.
supervisor is, telling you to write something which you don't want to do, and or at times he is favoring somebody and trying to stop your PhD in right time because he wants somebody else to come over and take a position which is opening there. Such things are, this is something which is very unhealthy, filthy thing. So I mean, how to come out of this? I mean, if you survive, it is a good thing. I have kept myself aloof from this system. I have been since I left GNU. I did my own world. And
Ravi-
whatever I
Ravi-
wanted to do, I have been doing it, and I will continue to do that.
Ravi, my firm conviction is, my firm belief is that this situation will improve if we start now at the secondary primary school level, when these children develop these values, and when they come out of the school and colleges, then our society will be very different.
But Alok ji, उसके लिए आपके पास integrity of teacher and of the governance system of that school होना चाहिए ना.
मैम
अब
हम
आपकी-
मैम हम
अगर
कर
आप-
सकते हैं.
नहीं, हम कर तो जरूर सकते हैं और वो अपने आप होगा भी.
We need to
That's
create
what
a we need to create a kind of army of people, of such kind who can kind of do something, add some value. नहीं तो सिर्फ पेपर में रह के आ जाएगा, पॉलिसी आएंगी, फंड्स भी आएंगी, and it will be
Yes.
misused,
Yes.
So Alok sir, I mean Raman sir से जरा सुनते हैं कि how he keeps himself motivated.
बड़ा मुश्किल है. Anyway, there are only two things actually what I see. Either you succeed or you get experience. So
Yes.
if you have not succeeded, you have gained experience of maybe finding a different way of success. So that's how I kept moving. We were trained to gun down people but we chose pen. So that itself was a great decision. So why not join a job too early in life and there settle? So that was the kind of motive that we all were trained to. I would talk about just 2 minutes how I did a little bit of research in the whole area that we are all discussing in last maybe 3 to 4 years, even though it was in mind for 20 years plus. What I did was I studied about all career options across the globe. So I found that there are around 12,000 plus career options or jobs. I brought them down to 1,200, then brought further them down to 120, and again further down to 12. So now I have just 12 routes or trees. I call them as career trees. I put that in the book itself. So there are just 12 trees through which you can have all the fruits on the world. All right. Now you have to get onto one tree. So one life, one tree. So it's a new concept that we worked on. Forget about 11 trees. This itself is a great task. We don't want to forget that I have not become IS, therefore I'll forget it. No, you will have to forget it. Get onto one tree. Now that tree choice has to be made at the right time. So there is a process of doing it. So I have a website which is 5 to 85. From the age of 5 to 85, what are the career options which are available? So I've divided the whole life into 6 phases and then worked on कि 5 से 10 तक क्या चाहिए, 10 से 15 क्या चाहिए, and so on.
Interesting.
So, and that is what artificial intelligence based study, a trend of thought processes in the mind of a child based on innate qualities or hidden qualities or God's gift has to be studied by experts. So I created an idea of lifetime career lab. So you have to have a lifetime career lab. Everyone from 5 to 85 should reach this lab, get tested. So we evolved a model of testing. It is ISPVD model now. It is again published. It is interest, skill, value system, personality, and your D is the distinguishing factor or discriminating factor, differentiating factor, or God's gift. So choice of career based on this trend study. Now this trend itself is a complex thing. Psychology plays a role, society plays a role, family plays a role, buffalo plays a role, computer plays a role, the friend, the peer circle plays a role, whatever it is. He has to make a choice by the end of class 10. So if he makes a choice out of 12, 1, he still has 1,000 jobs. So can we make this choice available at all schools is my aim, future aim. So if we establish this lab, not yet experimented, but model is ready, and we will have experts from all around the corner to actually fill in the gaps to find questionnaire. We are also thinking of including the genetic mapping, brain mapping, understanding the relationship between decision making and how individual has evolved in the society, all that. So it's a huge study which has ultimately come, and a model has become very huge.
In fact,
we
Dr.
will
Raman,
have a we would like to have another webinar on this topic.
Yes.
So maybe we will learn more on it.
But the bottom line.
In fact, what Dr. Raman is saying, it can be synced with that artificial intelligence tool. What government of India is trying to say, you know.
My book
Right,
says
in fact,
that. My
yes.
book already says that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yes, in fact, on this, our Praveen ji is part of that artificial intelligence thing which government
Oh,
of India
good.
is developing.
Oh,
right.
good.
So-
And luckily, I am also one of the board of, you know, artificial intelligence which is being developed for Supreme Court of India.
join together to work on this area.
Raviji, I am very much interested in developing these soft skills, etiquette, manners, values, culture, patriotism, discipline among the students. I know, and if anything of this sort is there in your program or anything, please let me know. I
We
would be
will,
happy
we
to
will,
join.
we will
Yeah.
certainly like to do it. And thank you.
Half a minute. Take a half a minute.
Okay, sir.
So at the bottom, as sir has been also saying, everybody at the bottom is that everybody must have value.
Yes.
Now, and then next level is what you want to do. Say after having human values, universal human values, you choose say engineering. After you choose engineering, then think of mechanical or civil or electrical or mechanical. After you have chosen mechanical, then go on to nitty-gritties or specialization in this. Here what happens is, because of certain pressures, we simply think we become aeronautical engineering, but I don't have the value. I don't have this necessary skill. So the gap remains and he spoils or he does not perform.
Yes.
So there has to be something with one word, last word is creative learnability is the thing which has to come in. So it's a
Yeah, in fact, on this, you know, I did made a video, you know, did lots of supercomputers studies, you know,
Absolutely.
how strong these
and the
metaflops
personality
they
type-
have.
The personality type should not be just say T type. It has to be T type, not I type.
No, but
T
sir,
type-
there is a problem. We'll talk. We will have a webinar on that. I tell you,
You'll have to go horizontally as well as deep.
you know, there is a problem, sir, and the problem is, you know, now, you know, earlier when industrial revolution etc. started, we moved on to knowledge-based, you know, education system, and slowly that knowledge thing is like information gathering. You know, the more information that your brain has, the better it is. It was considered, but now that is being replaced by AI, artificial intelligence. तो आपका मेमोरी भी कमजोर हो जाएगा, you know. तो बचा क्या फिर human beings के लिए? And we will become very passive, you know, over a period of time. For example, earlier, you know, oral traditions में our brain was very active. हम लोग catch करते थे, याद करते थे, नया value add करते थे उसमें, and then it was passing from one generation to another. तो brain was, you know, like healthy brain, very active brain. But फिर जब वो हमने lose कर दिया उसको, and हम किताब पे आ गए, you know, preserve करने लगे, store करने लगे library में. हमने घर के अंदर बड़ी-बड़ी लाइब्रेरी बना ली किताबों की, ये सोच के कि चलो रख देते हैं, जब मन करेगा कभी पढ़ लेंगे. याद नहीं करते उसको. अब उससे हम फ्लॉपी पे आ गए, उसके बाद फिर पेन ड्राइव पे आ गए, अब चिप पे आ गए. Now they have developed, people have developed, you know, chips जो आपके दिमाग में इंसर्ट हो जाएगा and आपका मेमोरी हाई हो जाएगा. You know, उसके बाद फिर ह्यूमन बीइंग क्या करेगा? AI आ गया, बिग डेटा आ गया, तो ह्यूमन बीइंग करेगा क्या कि ये डेटा को यूज करेगा ठीक से, क्रिएटिव बना के. ह्यूमन माइंड क्रिएटिव, यू नो, वो क्रिएटिविटी, वो जो रीड बिटवीन द लाइंस जो होता है जब हम बोलते हैं, तो वो ह्यूमन बीइंग ही कर सकता है, वो AI नहीं कर पाएगा. तो मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले समय में वैल्यू का रोल जो है बहुत हाई होने वाला है. So I guess artificial, I mean, we'll talk of all this, you know, again. We have crossed 25 minutes today, and it was a very enriching talk. And thank you, ma'am. If you want to say something.
No, thank you very much. And I hope we made some sense to the listeners.
No, there's, I believe there are many, still there are some around, you know, I noticed 50 of them are still listening to us.
The only thing I would like to say is,
yeah.
there is no getting away. The bottom line is human integrity.
Right.
If you can say that I will, with sincerity, do this, that is enough.
Right. Great. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
I
Dr.
enjoyed
Raman.
the
Thank you,
panel.
Dr. Kavita.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank
Take
you.
care.
That was wonderful. Thanks a lot.
you.